Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Master Bruce, happy Halloween.
Is there coffee?
In the study, sir. A Miss Kyle telephoned. She said she was checking the number you gave her to make sure it's real.
The gates are open. We haven't seen a trick-or-treater in years. We won't see one tonight. Hardly worth the security risk, wouldn't you say?
Respectfully, sir, if our security is dependent on $600 worth of iron alloy...
Tom, I know we're meeting up together, so you'll never believe what time this is right now.
Oh, man. It's not quite time for me to schedule that exam with my doctor.
Oh, fuck.
Is it Honda Days?
Close. Yeah, Happy Honda Days are right around the corner. It 'tis the season. But that being said, you're a little bit off because it's actually...
Oh, shit. Is it Toyotathon?
No, Toyotathon was like in May. You got to get it together, man. It's a... You fucking idiot. Here's the deal.
Listen, we don't observe. We don't observe in this house, so I lose track.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
Right.
I'm a lapsed Toyota.
Okay.
Toyotathon.
Okay, Mr. Modern. It's actually time for another episode of Tom and Jeff Watch Batman.
Ow, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
no.
Every time I walk right into
And
that.
this is a big one for us. This is a freebie.
Yeah.
For some people are
That's
listening.
one way it's a big one.
Yeah. And it's also work.
Yeah.
It's also
a massive undertaking.
Yeah. We're actually starting a month of Batman The Long Halloweens. That's right. Normally we would have started this in October, but we did not.
Yeah.
We didn't think to do it. We didn't feel like it. And then
we could have done this, except we're bad at planning.
Yeah, and it turns out who gives a shit? Because we're releasing this episode for free. We're gonna get you to come over to the Patreon because you're gonna love the show so much, and we're gonna have a fucking blast because we're doing the
that's where the rest of it's gonna live, you guys, over on the Patreon.
Yeah, because right now we're doing Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1.
Yes, part 1 of 2 of part 1.
Yeah, but
listen, it's two 90-minute movies. So we're gonna break each movie up into two episodes of the podcast.
Of course. First taste is free, baby.
Because we want to make sure you get that it's the long Halloween.
It's a long fucking Halloween. This is the longest Halloween for us.
Halloween's taking its sweet ass time.
Halloween's rolling into Thanksgiving, for Christ's sake. With that being said, Batman The Long Halloween, available on HBO Max or on Blu-ray and digital video disc, and I'm sure all the other ways that you can do that. This movie was released this year, and it's already on HBO Max. Thank you, HBO Max.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
Yeah, that's a nice little treat. We appreciate that you guys are trying to circumvent the theatrical system by putting all your shit out on your streaming platforms immediately. It helps us while you destroy an industry. So thank you for that.
But honestly, it's really, I'm primarily concerned with what's best for me.
Absolutely. Cast-wise, we have Jensen Ackles, who is reprising his periodic role as the Bat.
When else has he played Bat? I know he's played the Red Hood before.
I know he was the Red Hood. I think he played Batman in another one. I
think you're fucking wrong, Jeff.
That probably could be very true. I got to be 100% honest here. I am dumb as shit. And of course, tragically speaking, Naya Rivera playing Catwoman in this, and she was lost in a tragic boating accident, sort of / thing recently.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Well, way to bum us all out, Jeff.
I don't. I mean, it didn't happen to me. Leave me alone. I was wrong. This is the first time that he was playing actual Batman. I think I just remember it being from the news that he was Batman. And I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh, this again.
Oh, this shit. But it's great. We get some great appearances. Our calendar man is David Dalsmashian, also known as the polka dot
man.
And we get Jack Quaid in this.
Schiff.
Yeah.
From The Dark Knight. Yeah.
The kind of mind that Joker attracts.
What do you expect to learn from him?
This dude is all over DC.
He truly is.
We have Josh Duhamel as Harvey Dent. We have Jack Quaid up in this.
Really?
Yeah. Jack freaking Quaid.
Who does he play? I may not have gotten to him yet.
He's Alberto.
Oh, he is. Okay.
And Bosch himself, Titus Welliver, playing Carmine Falcone.
Shit.
All you Bosch heads.
Yeah.
All you big Bosch, you big bad Bosch daddies.
Bosch fanatics.
Get ready for some Welliver action. He's like a big Sideshow guy. He used to like come into Sideshow all the time.
That's nice.
He's like a huge nerd.
Just really into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I always knew there was a huge crossover appeal for our show and for Bosch fans.
Yeah, it's Bosch over appeal.
Yep, see?
You see that? Now, we start, something to be said, this is adapted by the graphic novel, or I guess we'd say more trade paperback series of comics. You want to call it graphic novel if you want to be snobby. Batman The Long Halloween by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. They eschewed the art style of Tim Sale, which is very unique, for a more classic style, a more boring style of animation.
Yep.
That is also relatively inconsistent with their bold line choices for outlines, and sometimes they're just not there.
Yeah, it's it has the feel of like a webtoon.
Yes, I'm going to say this right now. It's good. This is pretty good. And it captures the essence of it, but without sort of the visual aesthetic, and there is sort of an inconsistency in the animation that was a bit strange.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit strange. Just the bittiest little bit strange.
A Bosch bit strange.
Just a tiny little Bosch bit. But so we start out, it's Gotham at night because it's anything we've ever watched.
Right. Does the sun ever rise in Gotham?
I don't think so. What is that, Hemingway? Is that what you're...
Yeah.
And we see some old timey cars, like all the cars. It's a very Burton aesthetic, if I can be 100% honest, with the cars and stuff. Because it's like, I don't know when this is supposed to take place, but there's definitely like old timey, like, those Rolls Royces with like the wheel hub spare tire right next to the driver's side door.
Yeah. It's the kind of car you tell your kids that Santa's not real in.
Holy shit. That is a great way of putting it.
I have no idea what time this takes place. It's sort of like an evergreen thing for Batman.
Yeah, the Batman the Animated Series really established, fuck you, we don't care what time you want it to be. We're going to do whatever. Do you want the internet? Fine, we got the internet. We also only have cars from the 30s. It's fine.
It's some real Bosch pollination here. Time periods.
Cuts to Bruce looking out a window, just kind of like staring out, and he's actually talking to the Falcones.
Cuts to Bruce watching Bosch.
Cuts to Bruce just sitting back, watching,
kicking his feet up, watching Bosch.
Where Carmine Falcone's like, "Yeah, it's a pretty good show, right? This is a pretty good show. You should watch all the episodes and tell your friends about Bosch on Amazon Prime." No, it's basically there's this conversation where the Roman, also known as Carmine Falcone, is just kind of sitting there. It's like kind of awkward. We got Alberto in the back doing crossword puzzles or whatever. And
doing his puzzles.
And then Bruce just finally goes, "I only came here out of respect for my parents who knew your family." And then Falcone's like, "Your father was more than just a friend to the family."
Hey, you get what I'm trying to say?
Hey, shut up, you face of Bruce Wayne.
Hey, son, give me one of them word books so I can make sure Bruce knows what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, let me write it down in your little crossword puzzles.
See, you can crack this code, Bruce.
And Bruce is like, "Yeah, that was a while ago." And he's like, yeah, a long time. He's like, "Thomas Wayne believed in my father. Believed a man could bring order to a world of chaos. And you, Bruce?" And Bruce is like, "Oh, yeah, no, I do that every night. I do the chaos thing, like, exclusively, like, every night. It's
kind of my thing. You know, some people have Zumba.
Yeah.
I put on a cape.
Yeah, this is like one of those things where somebody, like some dude tries to like mansplain space to an astronaut on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then try to talk to Bruce about bringing order to a world of chaos. He karates his way across this city every night. Bruce takes a second and he goes, I believe in Gotham City. And then we cut to a fade and it cuts to a restaurant. This is Maroni's restaurant. And they do a really great job of confusing you with warring Italian stereotype names.
Yeah.
Like, and which, to be fair, is from the original, the Maronis and the Falcones, and they're used in The Dark Knight as well.
Yeah. A lot of if folks listening haven't read The Long Halloween before, a lot of The Dark Knight is taken from The Long Halloween.
Yeah. Like, for example, they're actors.
Yeah, exactly.
These guys start shooting it with Tommy guns, and then the credits start. And here we actually see Tim Sale's art. It's the only time we see the actual Tim Sale art style, and it's in the opening credits when you see all the characters and the names.
Yeah.
And while this is all happening, like a white chalk line is being drawn, and we see a couple of scenes. Number one, a judge being bribed. 2, Harvey winning the election for DA. 3, cops chasing a car. Cops? No. Cops chasing a car, and it's Gordon and Montoya, I think, of dudes that pulled off a robbery. The bat symbol is in the air, which is weird because Gotham's like already, Gordon's already in the car. So who lit that? Like, he's like the only one allowed up there. Yeah. I just want people to
I gotta turn this on.
Can't go to work if they don't call. It's like punching in. It's like his time clock is the bat symbol.
He just turns it on to give himself an excuse to show up. What's going on? I saw you turned on the signal.
Yeah, what's going on? You guys hungry?
You guys want to hang out?
You guys hanging out later after the game?
My night's wide open.
We see a guy with a bowl cut, hand dent, and envelope under a bridge at night. Ooh,
This is the beginning of a few incredible haircuts in this film.
A lot of decisions are made.
Primarily this dude who we come to learn is John Vitti, I think.
Yep.
And then Gilda Dent also has a bowl cut, but with a little stylish mud flap in the back, and I'm sure we'll get to that.
Gilda Dent, a delight.
Gilda Dent with her Billy Ray Cyrus hair.
Played for by my friend Julie Nathanson, actually.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. She's great. I would have invited her onto the show, except she'd probably be like, "Why are you making fun of my work?" And it's like, no, it's not your work. You're great.
I'm making fun of the way they drew the character you voiced.
It's definitely one of those things where it's like, you know what? We'll pass. We're gonna pass on this one. And then sort of as the credits pull back, that white line that they were drawing, a bat symbol this whole time. And it's like,
damn it.
And as you're watching it, I was like, that was your big reveal of what the mystery line was?
So I want somebody watching the movie to have like really been drawn in by the chalk outline idea, so that when it reveals the bat, they're like, my God, somebody shot a bat.
Or if they just go, okay.
It's your bat.
Oh, Batman, because, I was not expecting that.
I mean, it's like the Tim Burton opening. It's like, shit, it's a fucking bat. All right.
Okay. All right.
I didn't know. I got to tell you, I didn't know what I was looking at.
You know, they don't show you the whole thing at first. So now, bowl cut dude walks into his apartment to take a bath. That's not a good sign. If anytime we follow a dude that we only saw in the opening credits and don't know who he is, this guy's dead.
Yeah, and specifically into a bathtub. You're like, oh no, don't do that.
Yeah. And this guy, the door opens, and all of a sudden we see sort of the silhouette, sort of the shape of the contour more of this guy with like a baby bottle nipple silenced gun.
What an embarrassing thing to be murdered by.
Yeah, and it's like an old, it's like a 22. You get these guys, so many people are getting killed by a 22. It's like, isn't that embarrassing?
Yeah, with a little rubber nipple on the end of it. It's a very humiliating way to get shot several times in the head.
Yeah, it's like getting pantsed before you get shot.
Right.
Anyway, this dude drops a jack-o'-lantern and the gun and the little title card, Happy Halloween. And then we see Batman, The Long Halloween. Cut to Wayne Manor. Alfred has got a big bowl of candy. Walks outside.
For some goddamn reason.
Because it's Halloween, that's why.
Yes, but like here and in every other representation we see of Wayne Manor, it's like miles up a winding cliff road on a bluff.
Man.
Like Alfred,
I'll tell you what.
Kids you think are walking up there, man.
We used to get driven to trick-or-treating.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Because our town was so big, you know?
Yeah.
And like not tight, I guess is the best way to put it. But that being said, imagine being the one kid that goes to Wayne Manor to get candy. Mm-hmm. Like you go at the end of the night and he's just like, just take all of this. Like you'd fucking clean up. So, Alfred, Bruce comes out and he's like, is there coffee? And he just goes, over there. Yeah, of course there is. Miss Kyle telephoned, said she wanted to see if the number you gave her was real. Bruce ignores the ever-living shit out of that.
Yeah, he just lets that go right by.
And then just goes, why are the gates open?
Right, he zeroes in on the fact the gates are open.
And he goes, we haven't seen a trick-or-treater in years. Hardly worth the security risk, don't you think? And Alfred just kind of rolls his eyes and he goes, if you think our security rests on $650 worth of iron alloy, Bruce.
Womp womp.
Like, what do you think's who's coming through there that Batman can't take?
Right, like who are you worried about breaking in?
Yeah, if it's Superman, he can go over the fence.
Right. And so I don't know. Yeah, it's Alfred makes several good points with that single line.
Oh, Alfred dunks on Bruce consistently in this.
It's somebody has to.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to keep Bruce honest.
And then he just goes,
fucking nerd. You nerd ass Batman.
And then like without even like kind of like after Alfred just kind of made fun of him, he goes, the city has fallen, Alfred. And then he looks at the painting of his parents, and then Alfred just goes, then we got to lift that shit up, dude. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, that's why we do this.
Yeah. Christ, man, eat some chocolate. Fucking smile.
I love that he's just like, the city has fallen, Alfred. He's like, yeah, I know the Batman thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me about it.
You don't have to
I'm
keep
part of this.
pitching me on it.
Yeah. No, I'm on board for this. I'm here, aren't I? And then Bruce just goes, anyways, it's an absurd holiday. And then Alfred goes, yeah, you know, putting on a costume and striking fear, that's fucking ridiculous. And Bruce is just like, yes, another dunk. Thank you. Then he goes, you really think? And it turns out, but Alfred is gone. And he goes, I hate when he does that. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
He did
Alfred
that.
just...
He did the thing to him.
Alfred is ruthless tonight.
Yeah.
I also love the mental picture of Alfred like scurrying out of the room like a vampire.
Whenever Batman disappears or appears somewhere that nobody is expecting him to, I really want to see Batman doing it.
Yeah.
Like sneaking in.
Just like tiptoeing dramatically into position. Yeah. Giggling to himself.
Yeah. Oh man, wait till they see their
It's
face.
gonna be so good. Oh, they're gonna shit when they turn around.
It cuts to Gordon's, the Gordon family, Jim and Barbara, and their kids, Jim and Barbara.
Not a lot of imagination in the Gordon household.
Gordon, I've always hated that about the Gordon family. That they're just like, let's just give them our names.
I feel like I would realize how weird that was by the time I was 6.
Yeah.
I'd be like, so you guys just kind of just gave us your names, huh? That's the limit of your imagination.
That's as far as it went, as you said, this is a thing. This is a name I have, so I'm going to give it away.
Yeah, it's like, oh, fuck, another one? I don't know. What's your name? Barbara? Okay, this one's Barbara.
Yeah, okay, we got another
I guess
Barbara.
I have that reverse, actually. Jim's the younger one.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, Tom.
That's true. It's true.
It's so, I cannot stress enough how much it doesn't matter.
Not even to the Gordons. They don't even know which one's the oldest.
No. And why would you care? Like, why would you focus on this? You're too busy trying to abandon your children.
Yeah.
Because they're all excited and amped up, and Barbara is dressed up as a cop, which is a very scary costume to be.
Mm-hmm. It's the most terrifying. It's the most bone-chilling ghoul of them all.
Yeah, it's like when Wednesday Addams is like, I'm a psychopath. You know, or what
Yeah.
is it? Or, you know, they look a homicidal maniac. She says.
Yeah.
They look like everybody else. Well, that's her costume. I'm a cop. They look like everybody else, but they're stone cold killers. And Jim's like, don't forget my badge. He puts it on her, and the phone rings, and the kids immediately like drop. Their faces just drop.
Yep.
And he goes, hold on, it could be a wrong number or a crank caller, and it sure isn't.
No, it's none of those things. You're the police commissioner.
He's like, all right, gotta go. Bye. And Babs just drops
See you in
the key.
20 years in your therapist's office.
Yeah. Barbara drops the key and just kind of walks upstairs. And in my head, I'm just like, well, why doesn't just the mom take them trick-or-treating?
Because she wanted the dad to take her. Because Jim doesn't do anything with his kids, Jeff.
I get it, but like the kids like quit. They give up on trick-or-treating. And I'm like,
that's fucked. That proves that their hearts were never really in it anyway. So in a way, they deserve to have their Halloween ruined.
Honestly, that's the long Halloween.
Yeah.
That's this. Is like the pain and torment of not being able to be walked by your dad who abandons you all the time.
It's the longest Halloween of them all.
Now we see Harvey Dent walking into his house. There's like it's like kind of empty. There's a bowl of candy there. And he cuts to Gilda outside smoking and drinking wine. And Gilda is played to be like kind of a lot.
This is good. This is watching this movie is going to be interesting because it's been probably 10 years or more since I've read the book, so I don't remember a lot of the details. So I don't remember what her deal is. It seems like she might be pregnant.
No, it's the opposite.
Okay, it's the opposite problem. Got it.
She can't get pregnant.
Okay, because she like winces when he mentions the kids.
Yeah, he goes, "You started without me. Did you have any kids?" And she's like, "What?" And he goes, "Trick-or-treaters." And she's like, "Oh, I don't want to do that tonight." All that smiling and doorbell ringing. And I kind of, if I was Harvey, I would have been like, "Yeah, okay, but like, isn't that kind of part of like being just like a member of society?"
You want to? Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I bought all that candy. You want to
like
maybe at least like put it outside? I don't know.
I mean, it's not really about us specifically as much as it's about like spreading joy to children. But you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, you know what? It's as MJ says, fuck them kids.
Get drunk on wine and smoke. Like, they really make it see. They play her out to be a bit of like an albatross around Harvey's neck a bit. That he's always like having to like worry about her.
No, I did.
She's like
got the opposite from her.
okay.
I got the sense that Harvey's kind of an albatross around her neck. Like she's having to put her life on hold while he's being the DA, and then they have that conversation about having a family later, and it's clear that it's not really what she's into. So she's like putting her life on hold to wait for him to be present to do the version of their marriage. Or to do the version of their marriage that he has in his mind.
The implication that we see is that she cannot have children.
Yes.
And that when he's like starting a family, she's like, I can't. And he's like, doesn't have to be like that. Kind of a thing. But it does really seem like she's like just really depressed.
Yes.
Like it's this whole thing where she's just sad all the time. And he's just like, and she's like,
they're, as the kids say, they're just not vibing.
That's true, yeah. But he's trying to make it work. So he's like, hey, don't worry about it with the candy. Like, I'll eat some. He's like, well, actually, I don't know. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with candy. And she's like, you have a love-hate relationship with everything. And I was like, I get it.
Foreshadowing.
I get it, Two-Face.
Yeah, because she's going to have two faces.
And he's like holding her, and his face wrinkles as he looks up to the sky. And Gilda's like, can we just curl up in bed and watch an old black and white movie? And in my head, I'm like, that sounds awful.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. Why would you want to ever do that?
Yeah. And also
I wanted
just
divorce.
Any movie like that just has to be black and white.
Yeah, that's your taste?
It's gonna watch like
that's the only thing that matters to you is the fact that it's in black and white?
Yeah, she wants to watch Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman.
Or like they curl up and watch Clerks.
Yeah.
Or like
or Pie.
Schindler's List.
Yeah. Just relax and settle down with a nice viewing of Darren Aronofsky's Pie.
Yeah. only qualifier is that it must be black and white. It's the only thing I care about.
Yeah. Oh, so
all
good.
other films can fuck off.
The first 8 minutes of Wizard of Oz, and she's like, "Turn this off. It's too much color." And then he goes, I can't. And she turns around, sees the bat signal, and he leaves, and she looks dejected.
Yeah.
Cuts to good old Jim Gordon at the bat symbol. Dent walks up, gets there before Batman. They chit chat. Batman arrives, and Jim tries introducing them, but they get right to it.
They either already know they've either already met or they're just introduction. Either way, introductions aren't necessary.
Yeah. And then Gordon just goes, Johnny Vitti was murdered tonight. And Harvey just fucking loses
He loses his mind.
But to be fair, it makes sense when we find out that Vitti was going to flip.
Yeah.
He was going to flip and turn on the Falcone family, and Dent was going to put them away. Mm-hmm. And so Batman goes, the Roman's nephew. And Dent is like, he has a name, and it's Carmine Falcone, not the Roman.
Yeah, he's being real bitchy about it. I get it, you blew your case, but like, why? He's like, did you have money on this guy? Like, what are you?
Kinda, yeah. He was going.
Yeah,
Yes, he did, Tom. Like he was. This was putting away the Falcone family, and he makes a salient point when he goes, "Nobody on your team thought that he would be vulnerable on the night before he was going to turn state's evidence." Well.
It was a secret. Like it's a point, but also it seems clear that his involvement was a secret. So having police outside his house might be a little obvious.
I mean, take him to a fucking safe house or something,
Also true. Also a good point. Listen, mistakes were made.
Yeah, several mistakes were made. And so Batman talks about how the gun, it's like untraceable. And Gordon goes, hard to say if this was a professional. And Dent is like, of fucking course it was a professional.
So are you kidding me? Who else uses a rubber nipple as a silencer? Who thinks of that?
Carmine find out he was going to flip on the family, so they fucking offed him. And Batman is looking at the pictures and he goes, maybe. And to be fair, it's not a hit, which is what they're talking about, but this guy is definitely a professional.
Yeah, no, again, like I said, I can't really remember. I don't really remember what the solution is. So this will be interesting.
Then Batman goes, where's the jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah.
And then Gordon goes, you think it's important? And Batman's like, it was left by the killer.
Yeah, it was John Vitti didn't carve a jack-o'-lantern for his bathroom. The murderer left that there. Probably means something.
And he's like, you think it's important? And it's like, I thought you were a fucking detective, Jim.
I'm going to say, 3 scenes later, Gordon calls Batman a subpar detective, and it's like, Hoomst is calling Hoomst here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's something where it's crazy. Also, I forget how this movie takes place even though it takes place over a year, the storyline, every scene takes it's long for just a one-night thing. It took me a while to realize that, the first, 30 minutes of this is just one night.
Yeah.
So Gordon ignores the request. He's like, where do you think the jack-o'-lantern is? He never answers it.
He took it home.
Yeah. We ate that pumpkin.
Yeah. Listen, my kids were hungry.
And then Gordon just starts talking about how they're the 3 musketeers that are going to save the city. He's like, it's going to be us. We're going to do it. The Falcone family has to be taken down. Dent, you work in the light. Bats, you work in the other thing. Ben rules, don't break them. And I'll do my best to protect you both. And Batman just notices Catwoman is just spying on them.
Yeah, just staring at them.
And he goes, Bat's going to answer? Because Dent's like, hell yeah. And Batman's like, fine, 2 heads are better than 1. By the way, I sometimes clues come to me very fast, very often, so be ready. And then he sees Catwoman spying on them, and we're gonna have a little chase, but that's gonna be later. Batman and Harvey both walk out on Jim, and we cut to the Falcones Mansion or hotel?
Yes.
Okay, because it looks like the Continental.
Yeah, and then they murder a guy by shoving him down a stairwell. So it's like, okay, are we renting like an event space at the Marriott? What is this? Like it seems like a top floor banquet hall that they're in.
Tom, it's more than just shoving a guy down the stairs.
Yes.
It's a little bit bigger than that. That makes it seem
true.
like somebody died by getting pushed down the stairs, like in Deadly Friend. But that's not what happened.
No, it sure isn't.
So it's basically people are crying and in mourning. This guy walks in that looks like the Penguin but isn't.
Yeah. It's Danny DeVito.
I was like, is that
as a Dick Tracy villain?
Yeah. I was like, is that no? That's just a guy.
It's just a small man,
just a tiny lips manless walking in there,
shambling his way to the door to pay his respects.
Godfather, I'm so sorry to hear about your nephew. And then this guy, I believe it's Antony, is like, why aren't we killing Maroni? He's like, this is clearly a warning for Christ's sakes. And Falcone,
my man Antony is being quite fresh. With the boss.
I'm going to guess that he is tightly related.
They say later his cousin, right? Oh no, wait, it was Viti his cousin.
Viti was the cousin, but this other guy is the family. So it could very well be that this is like Anthony Viti or whatever. They could be They could have been very close. We don't know, but also he's very bold.
Yeah, a little too bold.
Because the guy's like, he's like, it's not the Maronis at fault. He's like, they knew their place. It's Dent for calling attention to us, and now it's open season on our family. And Anthony's like, I'll hit him right now. I will get him at the right time. We'll, and Falcone's like, at the right time, we'll do it. And he's like, the right time is now. You wait any longer and you look even weaker. And everyone's asshole just goes.
Mine did.
Yeah.
Watching this movie, like I said aloud to an empty room, I was like, oh.
Oh, don't do that.
Say that.
Yeah. You're going to get...
Anthony, no.
Yeah, right. Anthony, no. And let me tell you, man, thank you for your concern. He just goes, thank you for your concern, Anthony. And he goes, no disrespect, Carmine. And then fucking the bouncer, basically.
His Hulk, what's his name, Milos?
Yeah, Milos.
His hulking stick man.
Which is also, like, isn't that a Greek name?
Usually.
These Italians are hiring out with the Greeks.
Yeah, why not?
And so he goes, it's Godfather. And he walks him out and throws him down the center of the spiral staircase to his death, which is nice.
It's such a cruel way to murder somebody, because what he does is he puts his hands on Anthony's shoulders, kind of lifts him up out of his chair, and just very gently, almost not gently, but seemingly gently, just very deliberately walks him out of the room towards the railing and just pushes him over.
No. He tosses him like Uncle Phil throws Jazzy Jeff out the house.
Exactly.
So basically Alberto is kind of like, what the fuck, as he's looking at it. And
Yeah.
Carmine kicks him out for business talk. Take your crosswords for a walk. And he goes, they're logic puzzles.
Get the fuck out of here!
He says, he's like, hey, he's 32 going on 13. And everyone laughs.
Yeah, this guy's a real piece of shit.
Yeah, and as he's leaving, Falcone's like, Wayne won't sign off on the whatever shit, so assets need to be moved to a more secure location or whatever the fuck he was doing, you know?
That's basically what he said, yeah.
Yeah.
They can't move their money, it's got to sit.
Yeah, they got to put their money somewhere. So now it cuts to the fact that it started raining and Catwoman is running and Batman is chasing her. And she's so much better than him at this.
Yeah. Batman is, he's Batman, but he's pretty slow when he's trying to chase Catwoman.
Yeah. And he actually fucks up a jump that he barely makes.
He slips like twice.
And she just goes, your equipment's weighing you down. And he's like, why are you running? And she's like, it's fun.
Yeah,
fun. You could use a little. And then she takes off, jumps onto a building and uses her claws to climb. And she basically is she's scaling it like she's in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
That's the visual you need. Let me use Assassin's Creed as a Batman reference because I want to flip the you should know this button here. Let's see. And then
it's Bruce grapples up there and then tries to give her a hand up, and she's like, "No thanks," and then just dives off and lands on a train.
She's really going out of her way to like be cute about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny.
No, I like it. It's very Catwoman.
You know, let me tell you. He
and
follows
then Bruce,
her.
Yeah,
he leaps on the
tries
train
to land
and
on the
falls
train.
off.
Fucks that thing up too.
Bruce, no.
It's like, Jesus, Bruce.
So,
Did you get sleep yesterday?
Yeah, what are you doing, man? How much
What
coffee
the fuck
did
is
you
up
have?
with you tonight? Yeah, how much of that coffee did you drink? He just really has to take a shit now.
Yeah, it's not good, is what we're saying.
What if that was the explanation for it? The whole reason why he's running slow, he's fucking up his jumps because he's just holding in a real big dump.
Yeah, a grumper just sitting there waiting to come out.
A real Solomon Grundy sitting in there.
He's like, I'm pretty sure I did a bingo dauber on my underwear real quick. It's a little stamp. So he catches up finally, pulls her close after she leaps off the train. And he's like, got you. And she's like, I got you right where I want you. And then they're standing outside of Falcone Imports. And she goes, wait till you see inside. And what's inside is $1.5 billion.
Yeah, all of the fucking money in the world is inside that factory. Or that warehouse, rather.
It's the best way to describe it is it's from the end of The Dark Knight.
It's the pile of money from The Dark Knight. Exactly. Like so many plot elements and also visuals are directly taken in the Nolan movies from The Long Halloween.
Yeah. Except for the straight up Patriot Actness of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But we have to hurry up and protect Wall Street.
Yeah, fucking hell.
People should be allowed to eat. Not on my watch.
Unhand that wealth.
Unhand that wealth or I'll destroy you. I watched that fight in the sewer the other day, the one where they fight, and it's so good.
It is pretty funny. The best part of it is him just like none of his bullshit's working. Like he throws the smoke bombs at Bane and he doesn't even look at them. Like he doesn't react.
Theatricality. It's so funny. It's just great.
Continue to beat the shit out of you.
I'm going to break all of you. And that's most of what I like about the movie is that specific scene.
That scene.
And Catwoman's rolling around on it, and she's like, "Oh, isn't it great? It's so crisp and so clean." And he's like, actually, it's incredibly dirty. He can't, and it's like he's like, "You can't launder it. We've been looking for it. Thank you." And at some point in time, this is like one of those people that responds to a joke tweet seriously.
Yeah, he's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, actually, it's quite dirty.
It's very
She's
dirty.
like, "I know."
Shut the fuck up, Bruce.
I know where we are, fuckstick. There's a 0% chance that I'm like, oh, is this is mob money? I thought he was just importing stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was a furniture store.
And Bruce is actually kind of blown away that she just like volunteered this because he's like, why didn't you just take this money and go live a life?
I would have been, yeah. It's like, why didn't you steal this?
And she's like, to you, and he's like, why would you hand it over? And she's like, to you, who knows? And she's like touching his chest and is about to kiss him, but she sees Harvey in the shadows and absolutely levels him.
Yeah. She was ready to cut his damn throat.
Yeah, she does like a reverse Stone Cold Stunner on him.
Yeah,
to like take him down. It's fucking rad as hell. And Batman's like, he's with me. So don't do that. And also, he's the DA that put all your friends into Arkham. I'm like, I don't know if they're friends.
I don't think she's pals with any of those dudes.
Yeah. Batman suggests calling Gordon to turn it into evidence, and Dent is like, wow, he will get that money right back. Yeah.
We saw him pay off a judge in the opening credits, Batman. That's no good.
Yeah. Weren't you watching the movie, Batman?
Weren't you watching the movie, Bruce?
It's your movie, Bruce. Watch it. Christ. And And then so they basically, Catwoman's like, why don't you just light that shit on fire? And Catwoman and Dent get into an argument a little bit, and she's like, well, I'm going to leave before these fires are lit. And Harvey's a little trepidatious about it. Because he's like, Gordon's saying I need to work in the light. Then Catwoman's like, then light it up. Bye.
Yeah.
Batman.
It's not that much of a moral quandary.
No, it's like, he's like, yeah, they really do push, like, I'm supposed to be the good guy. It's like, well, you're lighting this guy's. I wonder if he'd do it because it's he doesn't want to like burn money because it's a federal crime.
No, money's supposed to be disposed of properly.
Yeah, I don't need the heat of the Treasury and the Secret Service on me right now.
Right. I don't need the heat of this misdemeanor or whatever.
I don't need Treasury heat on me right now. So then Dent's being all wishy-washy. He's like, I'm of two minds here. And I'm like, hey, I get it.
Hey, shed it again.
And then Batman takes out a coin and goes, so it's a coin flip. Heads, we burn it down. And I'm like, wait, Batman has the coin?
Yeah, Batman's also gung-ho for setting this shit on fire.
If he breaks out a two-headed coin... Like, think about it.
It's Batman's novelty coin, which means he just has that on his belt.
Or Harvey does a switcheroo with the coin and uses his own coin. But he'd been like, he was just like, oh, thank God he brought out a specific
right.
silver dollar. Or else this wouldn't have worked. Anyway, it cuts to the fucking fires.
Does Batman have a pocket on his belt for like tolls when he's driving the Batmobile?
He has one of those change belts like they have at like old arcades.
Yeah.
Some 17-year-old walking around with tokens on his fucking belt.
Fuck yeah.
It's the worst utility belt of all time.
It depends on where you are. If you're in the arcade, it's the best utility belt. Anywhere else, it immediately goes down.
Yeah, but if you're wearing it, you're on the clock,
Yeah.
Now, Falcone's pissed because everything's on fire. Bruce is sitting on his bat chair looking at the death photos with a plate of Halloween cookies.
Yep.
Jack-o'-lantern cookies and a happy Halloween note next to him. Thanks, Alfred. I'm sure Bruce is going to eat that sugar and carbs right away.
He's going to throw it in the bone pit with all the dead robins.
So many dead robins are going to just have little cookies. Finally, these robins can have access to cookies.
These dead robins really enjoy this special Halloween treat.
Look at them dressed like little skeletons.
They're really getting into the spirit. All of a sudden, we get a whole new dimension to the Bruce's state of mind.
Turns out Bruce has cracked. He has snapped. I think we probably should have figured that out as soon as Batman became a thing.
Right, as soon as he put the cape on.
That's like Bruce. Like Alfred, at some point in time, should be like, we need to talk about Bruce.
Yeah, Alfred. The only reason Alfred's going along with this is so he can gain Bruce's trust over a long enough period of time to get power of attorney.
Yeah. He's the Jamie Spears of the Wayne family. Yeah, people are like, oh, Bruce Wayne's Instagram is really strange. Dent gets home. Coin falls out of his pocket as he takes his keys out, and he goes, two heads are better than one, and it's a two-headed coin.
Skip.
I love. They also keep doing a bit of like they're kind of doing the hot tub time machine thing where you keep expecting Two-Face shit to happen.
They do it well in the next chunk. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he gets in and the car takes off. A car outside takes off. He can't find Gilda, and then he finds her outside on a swing, and she's like, "Please stay," and he's like, "I'm not going anywhere. I mean it, don't leave me." And he's like, "This job isn't forever. We've got a huge break tonight on the Falcone thing, and once I take him out, things are going to be different. We can start a family." And she's like, I can't do that. And he's like, there's options, we don't have to do it traditionally. And like, trust that we're still on track. I love you. Now we're still having movie night or what? And then he's like, actually, don't even answer it. And he just picks her up and carries her to the house. And that fucking house explodes right in his face.
It does. Right in both of his faces.
In his 1-2 face.
This house blows the fuck up.
It sure does.
Like,
this house
really hard. Like this house Yeah.
It's like a scene in RoboCop.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's how intense
it's
it is.
Bob Morton's house exploding.
Yeah.
Like, the
Yeah.
house fully explodes.
It's like the gas station. We killed you.
We killed you.
So
yeah, it's not just one. The entire house.
yeah.
Like, they must have wired bombs all throughout the house.
Like, it's to the point where, like, they probably got in trouble for whoever hired them. 'Cause
Right.
like, that was a bit much. Falcone's like,
It blows up so hard, the entire neighborhood should have burned down.
yeah, no. Like, no windows survived that.
Right, like the mobsters driving, or presumably the mobsters driving away, like their windows blew out in their car.
Yeah, there's
Like
nothing.
even they were like, Jesus!
Yeah, there was like that explosion in God, I forget where it was. The one where out like by the wedding, where just like that I forget where it was. It was somewhere in the Middle East where there was like something that fucking exploded and it just sent this huge shockwave, and all these people like were filming it, so you could like see the shockwave hit people.
Oh yeah,
It's fucking wild.
yeah.
Cuts to Batman chasing a car. Right, Gordon tells his driver to maintain a safe distance as the car that's running gets a lead on the police. Now, what we find out is this is Mickey. Mickey is a member of the San Joaquin triad. So he's a gangster. Batman closes in on him. Alfred calls to tell him that Thanksgiving dinner is almost ready. So now we understand that between Halloween and Thanksgiving, they've been trying to figure out what's going on, and they've finally figured it out. So they cut out a lot of the detecting work because like the house explodes on Halloween night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's basically we flash forward like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. So Alfred calls, tell him Thanksgiving dinner is almost ready. Selena Kyle's en route. And then the guy starts like shooting the windshield, and he goes, Alfred, make a note to order a new windshield, bulletproof. And I'm like, you didn't get bulletproof the first time, Bruce?
Yeah, why is this just occurring to you? Oh, right.
No, yeah, shit.
You think maybe my costume should be bulletproof? No, that's
No.
a bridge too far.
No, that's too much. And he's like, of course, sir, but if I may, Batman just hangs up on him.
He sure does.
And then just proceeds to ram the dude he's chasing into a parked car.
Hell yeah.
The dude gets out, and Batman, you see the Batmobile, like the canopy open, the cockpit, and then he like leaps out of the car, and I'm like, that must be so exhausting to have to do that every time.
Yeah, but it's dope.
Yeah, but at some point in time, he's gonna twist his ankle.
It's like pro
imagine
wrestling.
watching
Every
that.
time you go off the top rope, you hurt you shatter your knee a little bit more. But man, to hear that crowd pop,
It would be
makes it
really
all
funny
worthwhile.
to watch Batman spring out of it, but then land and twist his ankle, and he's like, "Fuck, shit!" Fuck.
or snag his cape,
Just fucking
on the
fall
way out.
back.
or if he just cracks his head on the canopy like Goose in Top Gun,
Oh man.
just flops down on the pavement.
guy-
Da-na-na-na.
Shit. I think I broke it. It's like limping
Like
after
it's so
the-
bad. Like Mickey's coming. Are you all right, man? You all right? Nah, it's fuck. I rolled it. I rolled my ankle.
Oh, it's
Shit.
real bad. I heard a pop. Anyway, the guy, Mickey runs into Chinatown. Batman's obviously stalking him. You know, Mickey's firing a few shots, misses, keeps running. Batman eventually batarangs the gun out of his hand and then throws a batarang into his leg, like through his leg, kind of a thing.
Hell yeah, that's where it belongs.
And then this guy's like, I thought you didn't hurt people. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that info?
What have you been hearing about Batman?
Yeah. What clubs are you at?
Yeah. Where
Everyone's
are you
like,
getting
you
your
know,
intel,
yeah.
sir?
You know who's a pretty good guy? The Batman.
Yeah,
The
he don't
Bat.
hurt you in nothing.
The Bat just lets you off with a warning.
What am I, a hall monitor?
He is a man in a fucking armored Halloween costume doing karate to everybody he's ever seen. Pulls out the fucking batarang. You thought wrong. And then punches him in the stab wound.
Hell yeah, he does.
You and your San Jose buddies were seen outside of Dent's place on Halloween. We were trick-or-treating. Batman hits him again in the stomach so hard that I think he shits himself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But he laughs a little and he goes, "You having fun?" And he's like, "Not yet, but any second now." And then it's silent. And then you just hear like all of a sudden this becomes kind of an anime.
Yeah.
Like you just hear fucking sword comes flying like he's playing a Nintendo game.
An entire ass sword comes flying at him.
He throws that dude straight into a dumpster, guaranteeing a serious and deadly infection in that leg.
Yeah.
Now Shuriken are coming from the shadows, and we see like a gang of San Hohui dudes attack. And it's very much like the three like stereotypes of thug. You know, it's like one guy's like the high-speed karate guy with the long hair. One guy's the big, giant sumo-sized dude. You know, it's kind of like that, you know.
Yeah, and then one dude is create a character from the Yakuza game series.
Batman, like, so
like
they're
the suit
like
and these fancy brass knuckles.
This guy has one. Yeah, right. This guy has one of those like, it's not a whip. It's like a quarterstaff kind of a thing, but it's like broken up a lot.
Yeah, I always just thought, it's the Foot Clan wields them in one of the Turtles games. I just always thought of them as like really long nunchucks, even though that's not at all what they are.
Snake Eyes version 3 came with a 3/4 staff, but this is like a bunch of pieces. Batman takes a shuriken out of his gut that he got hit with and whips it at one of the dudes jumping at him, cuts it, and it like smacks him in the face, and he goes down. Big dude attacks, and Batman.
Just real quick, my favorite part of that is his staff whips back after Batman cuts it and crushes him in the face, and he hits the ground, and it takes him about a second, and then he reacts.
And he cries.
Funny.
It's like he got hit in the nuts at Little League.
Yeah, it's like he got his face caved in.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened.
Probably a better metaphor, I guess, if you want to put it that way. This big dude attacks him. Batman essentially grenades the ever-living shit out of this guy.
I would.
Yep.
He had to reach in the crock pocket for that one.
Yeah.
It's like, shit.
Yeah. I have to take out one of these guys. Fucking great.
Yeah.
But he finally, he gets him. Then Knuckles guy comes up and fucks Batman up a little bit. Until Batman
shatters his fingers with a trash can lid.
Eventually, I think at one point in time, Batman does a Stone Cold Stunner on one, or like a snapmare.
Yeah,
like he grabs him and just like fucking flips him over, and he's going to town on these dudes. But they kind of they get him cornered a little bit after he shatters the dude's hand with a trash can lid. Big guy is back. He jumps out and tases a puddle, and then the dude who shrugs it off. They're about to kill him, but Catwoman whips the sword out of his hand, and they just kind of team up to fucking wreck this guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Go after Mickey. I'll take care of this." And he just runs, and she goes, "A thank you would be nice. It is Thanksgiving."
It's like, we've met.
Yeah.
You know me. All right. I'll see you later.
Batman follows Mickey to the sewer.
He sure does.
And it's like, Mickey, there's nothing for you down there.
Everything Mickey read about Gotham was wrong.
Yeah.
In a way that puts him in serious jeopardy.
In absolute turmoil. Mickey, no.
What are you doing?
He's like, this fucking wound hurts, and I gotta go somewhere with some water so I can clean out this wound.
Let me crawl into the sewers. Certainly nothing wrong with the sewers of Gotham.
There's certainly not a trash zombie downstairs.
Among other things, but
yeah. Like every corner, like the sewers it's like a Monopoly board down there.
It really is. There's like 20 different supervillains down there, and they're all extremely deadly.
Yeah. And generally large, too.
Right. They're all like tyrannosaurs.
You just drop down into sewer-based Jurassic Park, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of there. And so Batman just tells he's like, give up. You don't know it's down. You don't know it's down there. Which we find out is fucking Solomon Grundy, who is essentially zombie Hulk.
Yeah.
And he's like, just tell me who hired you to kill Dent. And the guy's like, go to hell. Starts firing. And it's like, Mickey, you're gonna have to learn a lesson at some point in time.
His travel agent really failed him.
Jeez.
This is all I need to know about Batman, right? He don't hurt nobody and his sewers are good.
Yeah, which gang do you want me to go to? Gotham. Ah, yes, I heard there's no violent dudes in costumes in Gotham. Like, honestly, like you know how Metropolis is all like kind of clean and Gotham's so dirty? It should be the other way around. Because they know that if like Superman's going to stop you, he's not going to like break your arm. Batman is absolutely going to do that.
Right. You're right. Like, you think people would be way more scared to break the law in Gotham.
Batman is a much more heavy deterrent than Superman is. I mean, Superman's the deterrent, like, in theory, because he's just like there, but you know, he's not gonna be wild about it.
Yeah, he's not gonna destroy your kneecaps.
Yeah, Batman is going to cripple you.
That's the minimum Batman's gonna do.
He's gonna be like, every time it rains, I want you to think of me when your knee starts hurting.
Batman's gonna take out a pair of garden shears and start taking fingers.
Yeah, you have a bad knee now because you did a crime in Batman. So as he starts running, Bruce just goes like, right now, the only difference between you and me is that I know what's down here. Dude runs, and then we just cut to seeing Grundy just choking the ever-living shit out of him.
Yep.
And Batman's like, hey, Grundy, I kind of need that guy. This is your place. Give him to me, and I'll make sure he never sets foot in here again, and you can be alone. And Grundy throws him aside like he's like a cleanup tissue.
Yeah, like a sock.
Just tosses him off and then walks away grumbling, born on a Monday. Cuts to a monitor in Dent's hospital room. The nurse brings in more flowers. Oh, this one's not for your husband. It's for you. From a Mr. Falcone. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh.
And this is where they start doing the cute hiding the left side of Harvey's face in shadow in this scene.
Yeah, they sure do. And then his wife Gilda's just like, isn't it time for his dinner? Because she's like, it's none of my business, Mrs. And she's like, shut up.
Yeah, she's basically telling the nurse to fuck off.
Then it cuts to Gordon interrogating Mickey, talking about how, you know, he's like, I don't want to be here. I got my dinner waiting for me at home. Tell me what you know about the bomb in Dent's house. We can leave and go eat. And then Mickey's like, I don't even know Carmine Falcone. And I'm like,
Mickey
did they mention Carmine Falcone?
Good. Yeah.
Oh, Mickey's great.
He's clamming up real nice.
Yeah.
Like, Mickey don't crack.
Gordon moves away and to reveal, surprise, Batman is behind him. And Batman is wilding right now.
He really is. He's pretty angry. He's taking this very personally.
Yeah, the Roman contacted you to try out to take out Harvey Dent. I'm going to do it in that voice because it's funnier. Your signature's all over it. And that's basically they're doing good cop, bad cop. Mickey won't talk.
No.
And Mickey's like, you got nothing on me. I'm not a suspect or else, you know, you'd book me.
Yeah.
And so Batman goes, fair point. Chairs are for suspects. And then he kicks the chair off from under him and he goes, this guy's innocent. And he just falls down and starts screaming in Cantonese at him. Gordon stops Batman. He's like, hey, aren't we doing like a thing? I thought this was like a bit. This isn't a bit.
Batman doesn't do bits.
I don't do bits.
I am the bits.
So Batman calls Montoya to take Mickey away. And Mickey goes, maybe you should thank whoever planted that bomb. He's like, what did you say? He's like, you still haven't figured out who killed Johnny Vitti, huh? He's like, get him out of my sight. And then Gordon starts ripping into Batman about how he needs to get better at detective work. and it's like, Jim, didn't you throw out the jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah.
You fucking jerk.
Yeah, J.O.
Yeah, effing J.O. He's like, I found him, didn't I? And he's like, yeah, but you got to know how they're going to help your case. Mickey Chen is a small fish protected by Falcone. And then Bruce finally goes, you know, we were never going to get a confession, but we needed to make friends. And in time, flip him. And he goes, keep talking like that. Make you DA. Bruce is like, Harvey isn't dead yet. It's like, well, he's been in the hospital for 3 weeks.
It's a long time. He did get blown up. He got blown up pretty good.
I barely saw the explosion. Harvey isn't dead yet, and he isn't a killer either. He's never even owned a gun. And then Gordon invokes Occam's razor about how the Roman is most likely Vitti's killer, Falcone. And then Gordon gets ready to go home, and Batman takes off.
Yeah.
Cut to Gilda leaving Harvey's hospital room. And then the nurse comes in to give him his Thanksgiving dinner, and Harvey is fucking gone.
He sure is, which is, what kind of hospital you guys running? Because he climbed out the fucking window.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, at Gotham hospitals, the only way that you have to do that so you can free up beds.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of their clientele leaves via window.
Yeah, it's a very catch and release system in the Gotham hospitals. It cuts to a nice fancy Falcone family Thanksgiving.
They have an acid burn unit at the Gotham General Hospital.
Yeah. Harvey's in the exploding buildings unit. Falcone's cooking sauce, talking about fucking basil to Alberto, and Alberto's just playing his little crossword, his logic puzzles, you know.
Yeah,
and
I'll say it. Alberto's a real wiener.
He's being a real piece of shit, actually. As much as his dad sucks.
As much as Falcone sucks, it's like, yeah, I'd beat the shit out of this kid too. It's like, come on, man. Like you understand that your dad's like a fearsome gangster, right? Maybe don't treat him like an asshole.
Boy, does he beat the shit out of him, Tom.
He sure does, yeah.
He's like, we have a lot to be thankful for, health, family. And Alberto's like, yeah, what's left of it? And he's like, if you're referring to your cousin Johnny, that's being handled. And the way he did it, it made me think of Fat Tony.
It did, yeah.
If you're referring to your cousin Johnny, that's being handled.
We will take our lawn clippings elsewhere.
Maybe they like cigarettes. By Mickey Chen. And who do you think hired him? And Alberto points out that Harvey Dent is still alive. Falcone gets pissed and calls him out for going to Oxford and not knowing his place. And Alberto's like, yes, the dangers of independent thought. When have you had one independent thought that benefited this family? And he goes, maybe when I sent flowers to the hospital in the Falcone name. Holy shit.
For the second time watching this movie, I gasped. I was like, oh, don't do that.
Alberto, no. Because he gets choked like that at the fucking end of The Running Man.
Yeah, he does.
Like he's getting choked. He's getting choked bad. Like a two-handed. Whew.
No, it's a single fist because that's how powerful Falcone is.
Yeah,
is it not?
Thought it would take. Yeah, right. Thought it would take suspicion off of us if I showed we cared about his recovery. Now I suppose you'll say it was a sloppy move. And he chokes this little bastard so hard and he goes, I could forgive sloppy. What I will not tolerate is you presuming to speak on behalf of this family. Let me be perfectly clear again. Any notion you may have of being next in line for the family business is a pathetic delusion. Then tosses him aside and goes, you are weak. Your weakness is my liability. And you are to have zero contact with Mr. or Mrs. Dent. End of discussion. And then goes back to stirring the sauce.
That was, again, Falcone's a bad guy, but real dumb move there, Alberto. Why on earth would you send them flowers?
Mm-hmm.
And then be so flippant to your terrifying crime lord dad about it?
Yeah.
Of course you got choked.
Yeah, that's a minimum choke.
That is on you, sir.
Yeah. There's a 0%. I wanted to choke him after he said that.
I'd have smacked his ass. It's like, what the hell are you thinking about?
Yeah. Funny story.
No, it'll draw suspicion away. No, it won't.
Yeah. In what way will it?
Gangster sending the injured DA flowers? That's the opposite of taking suspicion off of us.
That is very suspicious, Alberto.
Kind of seems like a message, Alberto.
And Catwoman was listening the entire time. Something that should be known, and I should have mentioned it in the beginning, Falcone has 3 claw marks on his cheek.
He sure does.
As scars, and I think you can guess where those are from.
Yeah.
Dent is outside of Falcone's building.
Yeah.
And Gordon's driving by looking for him and sees him and talks to him because he's like, hey, I kind of thought you might be here. And so we're expecting to see this big hideous Two-Face reveal, but instead he looks fine.
Yeah, he turns his face and it's just like, oh, you guys thought he was Two-Face, but he's just face.
Yeah, he's just standard one face at this point in time. But he's also acting like a fucking weirdo.
He is, yeah.
Like, he's saying really weird shit. He even refers to himself in the third person. He says, don't worry about Harvey. And so Gordon's like, oh, man, this guy's acting so weird.
Let me hand him a gun.
I better give him a fucking gun.
I better give him a gun. He's like, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have that.
Yep, that's exactly what he says. And he goes, the Falcones are dangerous, and to them, you're the bad guy. Protect your family.
Protect your neck.
And then he's like, you know what? I don't know what I was doing. I'm gonna go. Falcones are now having Thanksgiving dinner, and they make Carmine makes a toast to family. Everybody drinks. We then see a shot of the gun case being opened up, and then it cuts to the triads fucking around, welcoming Mickey back, while we then see a cut of the bullets being loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Jim gets home excited for Thanksgiving, but his family is asleep.
And his plate is in saran wrap on the table. Saran wrap,
yeah. There it is.
Because you done fucked up again, Jim.
You done fucked up by doing your fucking job, dude. Now it cuts to Alfred taking out the turkey. Selena walks over, tries to touch it. Alfred slaps her hand, but they both laugh about it. And then they notice a missing drumstick, and Alfred is like shocked, like he's horrified that a drumstick is missing. He's like,
because he doesn't know what happened to it. He's like, did burglars break in
and take a
drumstick?
But then it cuts to the sewer. Bruce left a plate for Grundy.
He did. And real quick, in Alfred's defense, a missing turkey leg in Gotham could mean fucking anything. That could be some new villain's calling card or some goddamn thing. It could be a riddle. Could be a fucking joke. God help us.
Oh, no, it's the gobbler. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, it's shocking in that it's just anything that could happen.
Right. It's like, Alfred's like, good God, what does this mean?
Yeah, he more gets like terrified and immediately on alert.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I mean, who among us doesn't immediately think, what the fuck, when our food is stolen from the hot stove?
Yeah, that's unexpected and a little alarming.
A bit of a problem.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be honest. But Bruce left a plate for Grundy, and he's in the sewer. He kind of sniffs it and then brings it away. He says his little rhyme. And then Captain Nipplegun, we cut to him walking over as Mickey's talking shit on Batman. And he's like, I told him where he could stuff his cape. Even Gordon laughed. And this guy walks in and just shoots them all with his little .22.
Room full of gangsters.
And he just levels the entire room.
None of you guys had a gun, huh?
Not a single gun.
One of you dangerous gangsters had a gun.
Bodies are strewn everywhere. All over the place.
They hit
all
the
about
floor,
the
Jeff.
Wow. No, wait, no. Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, wrong one. But also the same one.
Nothing wrong with me. Nothing wrong with me. No, there's something wrong with you. You're very dead. Mm-hmm. And then we see he leaves like a fucking cornucopia, I believe, on the table.
Yeah, a horn o' plenty.
A horn o' the plenty. And plenty of what? Dead triads. That's what.
Nailed it.
And then it just says Thanksgiving.
It sure does.
Thanksgiving. And then he went and listened to that Adam Sandler song. And Tom, that's going to be the end of our part one of the Long Halloween.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. That's a sode. That's a whole ass sode. We've done it.
It sure is.
Oh man. Oh geez. What do we do now? I forgot how we end this show.
Tom, you're supposed to tell people to go to the fucking Patreon because this is a free episode. So all the people that are listening that aren't members of the Patreon, head to
Gamefully Unemployed. Fuck. Patreon.com/Gamefully Unemployed. I am fucking this up. I'm just I'm so stunned by the carnage of that Thanksgiving scene that I'm off my rocker a little bit.
I thought you were gonna say because of the missing turkey leg.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with Alfred. Like Bruce gets home, Alfred's still like searching through cupboards and stuff.
He's shaking, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. This guy's loaded a blunderbuss.
Yeah, the Predator came down to take it out.
Head on over to patreon.com/Gamefully Unemployed, where you can, just for $5 you can get the rest of this long Halloween series as it comes out, as well as every other episode of Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, as well as every other episode of every other great Patreon exclusive podcast that we do.
Like Fox Mulder's Maniac.
And Star Trek The Next Futurama. Oh, man. And our newest show, Spiel Boys.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Guys, there's so much there.
So many things. Glad to be a part of it. So, guys, come check that out.
Jeff, you should probably tell them what you got going on, too, right?
Well, I don't know if you guys know this. You might not know this, but I have cool friends. And I have a podcast called Jeff Has Cool Friends. It is free. Every other week, but if you want to get it early and uncensored and with bonus content, you can go to patreon.com/JeffMay. My most recent episode, the amazing Shelby Young joined me. She is in like every Star Wars cartoon that exists. And she also is a TikTok sensation. You can go to patreon.com/JeffMay, JEFFMAY. That's just my name. For that, for only $5, you can get access to that and all sorts of cool shit coming. You can also check out You Don't Even Like Sports, a sports podcast for people who don't like sports, and Unpopular Opinion, both on the Unpopular Opinion Network. That's it.
Yeah, I think we did. I think that's all the things.
There's other stuff, but like, that's all we really need.
Yeah, that's we're not gonna burden you guys with too much, but
but definitely check it out, especially if you like Batman Beyond, because we are in the middle of Batman Beyond.
We are boots deep in Batman Beyond right now.
Yeah, we're electric boots deep in it. But yeah, so come see us on the Patreon now.
Yeah, do the thing. Do the thing. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, bye.
Good evening, sir. The turkey is roasting, the pies are cooling, and Miss Kyle is en route.
Alfred, make a note to order a new windshield. Bulletproof.
Of course, sir, but if I may...
Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.